Hello, everybody, and welcome to Rise of the Podcast. I'm Jeremy.
I'm Kara.
I'm Keith.
And I'm Brownie. And as you can see, Keith is not here. He's joining us remotely.
This is our first time doing anything like this.
Yeah.
We hope it's not a
kinda.
giant cluster. Yeah.
Because when Jeremy was...
Well, that's a
where were
lot
you?
different. I was down in New Orleans.
You did a call-in.
But that was pre-recorded. That was in the pre-recorded days.
Oh, that's true. This is live, I suppose.
Yeah, this is a whole different ball of wax.
Yeah.
I wish people could see what we saw and just knew that this connection. But Keith, it has been a while because of COVID. I haven't get a chance to talk to you. How's it going?
It's going great. Yeah, I kind of have missed you guys, and it's even though we're doing this, with all the social distancing and all that, it's still really great to talk to y'all.
Yeah, you too.
I swear one day we'll have the technology to have your video up.
Oh my.
It
By
exists.
That would be
the time that
something.
happens, it's going to be like in Star Wars having the
Hologram.
Oh, Chris could do that as soon as he got the feed
No,
in.
100%. If Keith put himself in front of a green screen, I could make Keith look like a hologram on the show. That is not hard.
Guys, why aren't we doing this?
Challenge accepted.
Oh my goodness! I shouldn't have opened my mouth.
So before we got this today, Keith, we did a 2 Lego builds, and we haven't done a Lego build since January. So our old background fell down, the comic book one. So we did it in front of the R2-D2 background. So we had to set up the set, do the Lego builds, flip the set for this, and figure out all the technical
And
details.
what time did we get here this morning, Jeremy?
Noon, 11:30. It's been a long day.
Oh my goodness.
It's just been a heck
It's
of a
already
day.
been a long day. So were you guys a little rusty? Were you guys a little rusty on the Lego build after not
Jeremy
having taped
was.
one since January?
I definitely was. Yes, that's true.
It got weird because in one of the second build, Jeremy kept on like shoving pieces into my face, and I was like, I kept making mistakes because he kept shoving these pieces at me. I'm like, I don't even know where these go at this point,
Well, then we're trying something new, right? So we're pulling the Lego builds off of Rise of the Podcast YouTube, and we're putting them on a new YouTube channel. And so we also thought, well, hey, we have the sets. People prefer reviews or maybe like reviews. So now, one of our fans commented, Brad, he's like, go back and look at your old stuff and look at how far you've come. And so starting the reviews, it felt like a brand new start. Like I was a noob.
Well, that's really cool. Brownie had mentioned that like a while back that he was thinking about the possibility of you guys breaking off different content into different channels. I think that's awesome because you guys make so much content. And when you look at like some of the channels with the more robust production schedules like you guys, I think of like Collider. They have different channels for their like different brands of content. So I think it's super smart to do that.
Well, it makes sense because this channel is Rise of the Podcast. It's like it's a podcast. It's not Legos. So having our other channel is going to. Are we going to announce what the channel is? Or are we just going to kind of leave that hanging in the limbo for a little bit, or what?
Oh, I totally missed part of that. I'm still putting out some technical fires over here.
Chris, are we going to release the name of the new channel yet?
I think so. I think at this point, well, have you bought the website yet?
No.
No, then we're not going to do it.
Okay.
Now you're just baiting people to.
It's called Brad's Watching Us on Twitch.
Oh, no
Brad,
way. No way.
hi.
I had to laugh because I replied to Brad's comment. And immediately I got the email notification, we got a follower. And I was like, is it Brad or is it somebody else?
That's awesome. He says hello. I guess I should probably turn chat on.
And then Brad,
now
we
got
have a guest tonight. We have Keith back on again. I know Brad requested more, and Brad requested more Lego builds. So yeah,
Brad, you own us at this point.
we did Lego builds. We have Keith
He's our
on as
manager.
a
You
guest.
tell us what to do.
So before questions and chat start rolling in, I'm gonna ping Keith on some of his stuff going on in his life. So Keith, first off, your movie's out.
Yeah, it's out. It's in the world.
And so it's finally on Amazon Prime. Is available for anybody, correct?
Yeah, well, it actually, so I pulled it from Amazon Prime. So it was up on, when I say Amazon Prime, what I really mean is free for Prime members. And now it's available on Amazon Prime for a rental. And it's super cheap. It's like you can rent it on SD for like 99 cents.
Cool.
So So yeah, but it's been on Amazon since the very end of March, which was great timing because it was the beginning of quarantine, and nobody had anything to do besides sit at home and watch stupid movies. So some of them watched my stupid movie, which was great.
That's awesome.
Can you see, or being having your movie being the one that is in charge of it, do you see like all your analytics through Prime? Because that would seem pretty interesting.
So Amazon makes a few analytics available to film owners. So and you guys are obviously really adept with the YouTube analytics. Yep. I see about like 2% of that. And of course Amazon has a ton of data on my movie and all movies, and I get to see barely any of it. I get to see minutes streamed and number of streams, and that's it. And so through some simple mathematics, I can kind of determine how far the average person is getting into my movie before they maybe decide to switch to something else or just turn the TV off for the night and decide to come back for it. But I'm kind of estimating at best. So all I have is those two analytics. Oh, and also how much money the movie is making on a month-to-month basis. Yep. So yeah, it would be really nice to know things like, what the Amazon customer was watching maybe before they turned on my movie, or maybe when they turned it off, what they turned on afterwards. But stuff like that, unfortunately, is not available.
Or even just like maybe where people are watching in from. Are they local? Are they far away? Like we have people watch from all over the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a lot from all over the world.
And then also, like on YouTube, like you guys generally know what device people have watched you on, and also like where they clicked in from, right? Like, so if it was if it was a suggested video, or if they clicked on it through a Google search or a Facebook search, something like that. So I really wish I had that kind of data and could target my advertising a little better.
Oh, absolutely. And to know, you could dial in if you're or if you did run a promo and see what is bringing it in. One thing that you've done, which is makes my day whenever you post it. And when Chris went to call you, he brought up your Facebook. It showed one of your most recent posts was the negative straight up feedback. And I loved when we talked to you originally, you're like, tell me how it is, good, bad, let me know. And so those straight up posts of people's rage or hatred is odd. I love them.
They're just being salty. It's like, it's not constructive criticism. They're just like, meh. It's like, okay, well, thanks.
I thought it was really funny. They're like this one user, oh gosh, what's the website? I think it's called Real House or something like that. It's like social media for movie buffs. And he just wrote, F this movie. And when I saw it, I laughed so hard. And it's like when I have people, it's kind of like a little bit of a badge of accomplishment, because I'm like, I have internet haters, like,
you've made it when people hate you on the internet.
Right, exactly. You have to reach a certain level of like, I guess to use a business term, like market penetration to like even get to that point where people hate you. And I'm like, wow, it's kind of, when I read that, I'm like, I've got a real movie. Because there are people saying F that movie about every movie ever made. Even Shawshank Redemption. People are like, F that movie. Or Star Wars, F that movie.
Okay, don't hate me. I do not like Shawshank Redemption.
Oh, see, that's Kara there for you.
I love that movie.
I can't stand that movie. Sorry.
I feel bad for you because you're missing out. It's wonderful.
I'm going to put Kara on the judgment cam now.
Sorry. I just can't. It's so emotionally draining. At the end of the movie, I just felt like a vegetable. I was like, oh.
But they're going to fix up that boat and have a great life.
Oh,
Spoiler.
I don't know.
Yeah, Brownie, way to ruin it. But anybody watching
in the 80s?
Anybody watching Shawshank, though, is going to be like, there's not going to be a boat in this movie. What's that Brownie guy talking about?
Oh, if only they knew. I'm just kidding. So do you want to talk just a little bit for those who might not be familiar with what Gravedigger Dave's Halfway House is?
Oh, sure. So Gravedigger Dave's Halfway House is an anthology film, meaning it's a compilation of short films about ghost stories from northern Minnesota. And it's part of the viewer's task to determine which stories are true and which stories have been made up.
And it's really good. I was fortunate enough to go to the premiere of the film.
Yeah.
And it was amazing environment there, getting to see Gravedigger Dave himself, the man, the myth, the legend, Matt Rasmussen.
Who we've also had on the show.
Who've also had, yes, he has also been a guest of Rise of the Podcast. Yeah. The last guest we had before you, Keith, actually.
Yeah.
and actually,
I mean, that's a really fun episode, too. I mean, Matt is just like the most charismatic dude and the most fun guy ever, right? So it's like,
oh, yeah.
So that guy could be in any venue talking about any subject, and it's going to be fun.
Right.
It's funny. So we had him on literally right before quarantine started, or,
Yep.
and then that. And
Yep.
then on top of that, afterwards, we became friends on Facebook. And I live vicariously through a lot of his posts. And
Yes.
it's fun for me because I don't post to my own personal Facebook page, hardly ever.
yeah.
But I see all of the 1980s horror movies. And so I just went and watched the trailer because he posted the trailer for The Blob. Or whatever, and then just like all these fun movies, and I've got to know him just through that, and it's been really, really fun, and it's cool to see him in your movie. And then I can't wait for his project coming out, the Ecto Cooler Resurgence.
Yeah.
I
my
cannot
God,
wait
yeah.
to see that.
There is a movie trailer online. You can get it on Matt. We're talking about Matt Rasmussen here. For anyone who doesn't know what Matt we're talking about, on Matt Rasmussen's YouTube channel, which is Scary Spoofy, or his Facebook account, or just by searching Ecto Cooler Resurgence. It's a really, really awesome movie trailer.
I cannot believe what he's done to get to that point. Just basically bought out an entire stock and has been refrigerating it or whatever. I saw a post
He froze
on.
it, didn't he?
Did he freeze it or just?
He's got some frozen reserves.
Yeah.
He might be the possessor of the last Ecto Cooler on the planet.
Oh, it's
I wouldn't be
man,
surprised.
it's so cool. I did see it.
I've actually.
Go ahead, Keith.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you guys off.
Oh no.
So I think we're a little delayed, which is why there's some interrupting and whatnot. But anyway, so I've been to his house on a number of occasions where he's offered me an Ecto Cooler, and I almost feel like, oh God, like I don't want to deplete his stock, but Matt is the kind of guy where it's like he gets joy out of sharing it, and then so I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll have an Ecto Cooler. And it's so nostalgic to have a sip of it, and then he busts out the camera and he gets a shot of me drinking it, and I give a thumbs up. So I'm hoping that maybe there's a shot of me in the movie, but I might wind up on the cutting room floor.
He was in your movie.
We'll just have to
you're
wait and
in his
see.
Movie?
Yeah.
So here, okay,
I don't know if I'm going to make the cut now.
You got to give him $1.
Yeah. So I have a story about that stuff. So that's been my thing, right? Everybody's got, you grow up, and a stereotype in every movie and everything is that, oh, you've got things people cherish, they save, right? So wine is a perfect example. So I bought into that hype. I bought into that hype a couple times in my life, and it has bit me in the butt every single time. So in 2003, I was 16 years old. I went to France with my dad. And we went, and you could drink at the time, and over there, overseas. So my dad bought a bottle of wine, and we thought, this is really, really good. And so what I did was, we loved it, and I bought 4 of them. And I was obviously underage, but I told my dad my plan. Here's what I want to do. We're going to give one to my sister. We're going to give one to my mom. And then I want to save one to have on my wedding night. It'd be this vintage 2003 bottle. So at that time, it would have been 12 years. 12 years sitting in my collection, waiting to be saved for when Karen and I got married. Well, here's what ended up happening. One of the bottles we drank when we got home right away. That was the 4th bottle, sorry. The 4th bottle was the one when we got back, we would drink it right away and celebrate it. So we did. We got home, we celebrated, drank it. So I had 3 bottles left. One for my mom, one for my sister, and then the one I saved. So then the bottle my sister had, she came home one night 3 years afterwards, and she had venison. And she found out, oh, this is really good. What'd you use to marinate it? And he goes, oh, this bottle of wine sitting under the counter. So my sister's bottle got used to marinate steak. Okay, so it's like, all right, well, that's a bummer. The second bottle, my mom, I don't know what happened to it, but it definitely got damaged. And then one of the times when I moved, the bottle I was saving for when I got married, I had moved and it was in the backseat of my truck. And when I emptied everything out that night and brought it into the house, the bottle of wine had rolled off the front seat off the back seat underneath the driver's seat. And I forgot about it, which normally wouldn't be an issue, but it was in winter. So the next morning I came out and I opened my pickup truck door and all I could smell was booze or alcohol because the wine had froze overnight and popped the cork out.
Oh.
And so it was like, man, see, this is what you get. You try to save stuff and then it just never works out the same way. So it's like I had bought these bottles of wine and
So
none
I
of them
missed out on a delicious wine.
Yep, none of them made it to our wedding night because they all got destroyed. So I like the way Matt's like, here, have one, because you're giving him footage for his movie, and the stuff is meant to be consumed. So,
Yeah.
See, give me a topic and I can talk about anything.
That's
for
like,
ever and ever.
Well, he also is a big collector of action figures, and some action figure collectors keep them sealed in the original package and stuff. And Matt,
Yes.
his attitude is like, no, these are toys; they're meant to be played with. So you can take them all, and you can take them off the shelf and have a look at them, and take a trip down memory lane. And, it's really cool.
I just want to say real quick, we're dropping some mad frames right now. So anybody that's watching, we're aware. I've sent out a couple sorry for drop frames messages. This will be totally clean when it goes up on Monday, the canned version of this. So anything you might have missed during the course of this, you'll be able to see at that point. And it's like we're bouncing between literally 0 connection and like 2,500.
So what we'll have to do is we're going to have to lay a cable to every one of our viewers who is streaming, and we'll just hardwire us to them.
Yeah.
So, Brad, we're coming out there where you live. We'll run a cable out to you. We'll take it on the plane with us, and whoever else is watching, we'll run one to Georgia. I know there's one in California.
And
So,
wait, Puerto Rico.
yeah, well, all the way to Puerto Rico.
Oh my goodness.
For Gabe. Oh, man. So, anyways, yeah, so Ecto Cooler, I can't wait to see Matt's movie. So, you've got to try some. Was it as good as you remember?
It was absolutely as good as I remembered. Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's exciting. So, I can't wait for that to happen. So, is it too... Here's what's the burning question on everyone's mind, Keith, is there anything else coming from Hexagon Motion Films or Pictures? Pictures.
Get it right. You
Hexagon
should be.
Motion Pictures.
Keith should be so mad at you right now.
Right? I mean, if I were you, I'd just rage quit this chat and be like, no, you guys don't deserve me.
I did think it wasn't
No.
films. That's why I did,
I would never snub the people at Rise of the Audio Cast. Never, ever, ever.
I am going to put that on listener mail wall here.
Yes.
Rise of the Audio Cast, quote Keith.
Speaking of listener mail, if you want to
Anyway,
suggest a
so
topic
yes.
for us to talk about.
Oh, yeah, there goes Chris. Had to run his title card there.
All right, go ahead, Keith.
So
Gabe
anyway,
says
so
we
am
want
I
Gabe
coming
to
through
go.
clear and everything?
Yeah, you sound good.
Cool. So I am working on a sequel. So I had an idea a couple years ago to take submissions online of other filmmakers' short film to make an anthology film with Gravedigger Dave as the host again, but basically make an anthology film of other filmmakers' content from around the world. And I kind of shelved the idea to do the more locally themed, Minnesota-themed anthology. But when coronavirus hit, I was like, well, I really want to do another feature film, but obviously, Hollywood is shut down. I'm not Hollywood,
Right.
but like, I also
Right.
probably shouldn't be gathering a large group of people to make like an art project. So I was like, well, there's about 1 billion other spooky short films in the world that are already done. And why don't I just put a feeler out and see, if people are interested in this. And as we record this, I've gotten 60-something short film submissions. A lot of them are really, really great. And the cool thing is that, Matt Rasmussen and I, and our other friend Sean, who's going to play another character, and Brownie, hopefully, who will be able to help out with production when we actually get a date, we're going to shoot the wraparound segments that toss to all these other short films. And my favorite thing about it is that some of these short films are made with a level of quality that, like, I probably could not achieve, on my best day. Right. So it's like, I think it's going to shape up to be a lot better than the first one. Because of, it's going to involve other filmmakers from all around the world. So that's something that really gets me pumped up.
That is super cool. That's the part of I don't participate in film competitions because of like how good some people are. So when you get those submissions, it's going to be, I'm excited to see this come together. That's for sure. I'll say that. That is really exciting.
And I mean, when I say around the world, it's literal. Like, I think I've got submissions. So out of 60 short films, I think I have submissions from like 30 countries. Most of them are from the United States or the UK, but there's stuff coming in from everywhere. And it's all so damn good. And, it's crazy what people can make if, with a DSLR and a good script.
Right, and so then you now have to decide, like, because you only have the submission, so it's like, are these real, or are they, it adds an extra element to it, even for you as the person putting it all together.
Yeah.
Right. So, I don't think we're going to do the whole angle of, are the stories true or false for the sequel. There's, I think the presentation of the shorts is going to be a little different, but, I'm not really finished coming up with that concept because I kind of got to see what short films are going to make it in, and then kind of write the wraparound segments with Gravedigger Dave based on that.
Got it. It's exciting. I'm glad people are able to overcome and still make production and still. I like how you basically adapted to the situation, because it's been tough. We want guests down here in person, and it's a lot easier going live when it's the person sitting right here, but it's just not an option. It's not an option. So it's cool that you're able to make something work, and like you said, just having these high caliber quality. What we should do? Short films coming in.
We should make a little plexiglass box, and our guest can sit in the box away from our germs.
It's the Rise of the Podcast penalty box.
At that point, Kara, we could just have one camera set up over 6 feet away, and then they can just have their own angle.
That's true. They can sit back here with me.
Yeah, they can sit back behind Chris.
That's what the seat is for. It's for the guests.
I don't know. I like the idea of the plexiglass box. It's like Bubble Boy from Seinfeld.
Yes. I was gonna say, or we could just get a saw, cut the couch in half, then, and move the couch, or separate. Like,
we do have another chair.
I was thinking like pushing daisies. How Ted and not Ted, the guy and the girl can't touch because if he touches her again, he'll kill her. So they have like these things that plastic shields put up, so they can't actually.
Right, like even in the car and stuff. It's
exactly. That's what I was thinking. I was like,
he's just not. Just peeps knew COVID was coming. That's all.
Right?
Brad says hazmat suits for everybody.
Oh, there you go.
So Gabe said that he sent in a listener mail.
He did send in a listener mail.
Do we want to jump to listener mail just for a second here?
Yes. I will pull listener mail up and I will read it. Here we go. It's actually really good listener mail.
That was sent right after the last podcast.
Right after the last one. I want to do something with this, Gabe. I want to turn it in. When we used to shoot Star Wars every days, I want to try shooting a new version of that and tell people's stories. Mm-hmm. So yours kind of double dips for that, but I will get into it. And then Kara's got an extra frame. I can't reach it. And we'll hang it on the wall. We will hang it on the wall.
We need to hang Brad's. I need to stop at Hobby Lobby and get one more for Gabe's then, too.
So Chris played the listener mail thing. If you would like your email read on the podcast, you can go ahead and send us an email. And while that little thing runs here, I will read Gabe's email. So here we go. Hey guys, Gabe here. Boom. I became a Star Wars fan at 12 years old while watching The Empire Strikes Back on a Sunday Star Wars marathon on Spike TV.
Nice.
And one of my favorite scenes is Obi-Wan fighting Anakin on Mustafar. That, for me, is one of the best moments in Star Wars. I've been to a lot of Star Wars events here in Puerto Rico, and I've met a lot of people through Star Wars. Just like how I found you guys. I could write a book on the people I've met while talking Star Wars. Long story short, I found you guys through Star Wars as I was looking for a podcast to listen to. May the force be with you, Gabe. So
That's awesome.
awesome listener mail, and one of my favorite things is listening to people's like Star Wars stories, and it was really fun to hear your story, Gabe, and especially meeting people through Star Wars events. That's what inspired us to do the podcast, was our time at Star Wars Celebration, which we'd be at in like a week if it wasn't canceled. So
That's like a really cool way to discover Star Wars, though, because like sometimes those like accidental movie discoveries where it's like, oh yeah, I was just flipping through the channels and landed on this like really great thing, and it, instead of like, I don't know, I guess the way I came to Star Wars was like getting fed it by like other people, but
Yes.
like to just like stumble upon it and be like, whoa, this is insane. That would be a really cool way to discover Star Wars.
right, could you imagine? Yeah, just exactly flipping through the channels and go, oh, I'll give this a try.
Right?
And then it's just going in unknown. There's no hype then, right? That's one of Chris, that's your thing.
Yeah, I hate when stuff gets sold to me so hard that it's like there's no way it could ever live up to how hard it's been sold. Like,
Right.
if somebody came up to me and pitched Star Wars as hard as some of the things that they've tried to pitch to me, I would not have enjoyed it.
Right.
Right.
So,
Well,
like,
and they've set an expectation, and it's like if it doesn't meet your expectation of that, it's gonna fall flat. Kind of like in How I Met Your Mother when Marshall kept hyping up this burger, and like they thought they found the place, and the burger ended up just being trash.
Or if you like, if like a group of your diehard Star Wars fan friends want to show you Star Wars and you've never seen it before, and so you go over and you watch it with a group of friends and they all love it, and there's this like expectation that like you have to love it too, and you're just like, yeah, I'm trying to get into it the way you guys are. But if you're just like at home by yourself, boom, there's Star Wars on TV. That's awesome. It's just so pure.
It is pure, exactly. Because people sometimes when you show them your favorite movie, they watch you instead of the movie, so their eyes are glaring at you, and you're like, you over laugh, or you say, yeah, that was fun. That was good.
It.
Yeah, you don't enjoy it. It's too stressful. Just like when somebody hands you Lego pieces, I guess.
Jeremy.
I forced Kara's enjoyment of building. I ruined Lego for Kara.
Because
I was trying to be nice.
That happened before the podcast today.
We did another
Ruined
Lego
my
build.
mojo.
Sorry, I was rushing Kara, trying to get her to enjoy building speed build.
Gabe says there's a sad part to that story too, and now they just sort of left it at that. So I don't know.
Don't
Are you
leave
going to
us
send a
hanging,
part 2 to that email, or are you going to say something in chat? or-
Yeah, good lord.
We're
You can't just say something like
sitting
that.
here in anxious anticipation.
Yeah.
We got to hear this.
We should all just sit here in silence until he
Oh
responds.
my goodness! Have you not learned anything from watching Star Wars in a group of people? We can't just all watch Gabe and wait for him to make his response. Like just sit and wait, just beam into him.
Oh my goodness! It seems like we're a little bit more solid connection.
Well, that's good.
internet-wise,
That's
so.
good. Go ahead,
Keith,
Chris.
you had mentioned that you had been exposed to Star Wars through your friends. Do you have anything that stands out as a particular like first memory of Star Wars?
Well, I guess it was a combination of the real like deep like crazy fandom, like the fandom you guys have, was through friends. The way I initially discovered the first 3 Star Wars movies was through VHS tapes that I had in my house. I guess they were probably my dad's, taped from HBO. But one of the funny things about like my discovery of Star Wars is, okay, so spoiler alert, Darth Vader is Luke Skywalker's father. I think I can say that probably on this podcast. But
Yes.
I kind of just grew up knowing that to be true. Like I didn't get to discover that. And there's this amazing video of this kid watching Empire Strikes Back, and you see him like watch that moment, and you see his jaw drop. And sometimes when I
Yes.
see that, I'm like, I never got to have that. I just always knew it to be true. You know what I mean?
Search your feelings. You know it to be true.
Exactly. I didn't even do that deliberately.
No, it's funny because this is like what Vader says to him. I saw that kid, and it is pure gold. It is absolutely the precious thing of that kid. He's just like, what? This can't be. He looks angry for a second, then he's all smiling and stuff. It is really, really
When
cute.
our kid shows up and we introduce him to Star Wars.
Nobody better spoil it for our
Yeah,
kid.
nobody better spoil it because I'm going to record that.
Darth Vader's Luke's father.
Don't listen. Oh, something we haven't announced to everyone. We're having a boy.
Way to go,
Congratulations.
To Rise of the Podcast fans.
Yay!
Keith, because you're on, you get to name it.
Yeah. Here's what's funny about that. Is,
Mike, talk about pressure. Jeez.
don't worry, kid. We have no idea what we're doing, so we're just gonna wing it. But
call him Boba Fett.
Boba Fett,
Boba Fett, yes.
Heck yeah.
Can you imagine if his first name was Boba?
I've been trying out. So I have a name that I like, but besides that, it's Slim Pickens. And
I know
then,
500 people with this name, so it's like
Slim Pickens Manthe.
it's not Slim Pickings. I've given you like 10 names that I.
Well,
that
no,
I
I've been
enjoy.
trying them out. I've been literally like just saying, how is sample name doing tonight?
Sample
And then
name?
you look at me and you're like, no, that's not it. I've tried different ones. I have been.
Brad says he hopes that he brings balance to the Force.
Yeah, I hope so. He's the chosen one.
He is.
Anakin's not a terrible name.
I've actually had patients suggest that to me.
Anakin,
It'd be sort of weird calling your mom and your son Annie, though.
right?
Oh my gosh, right?
Nickname, because my mom's Annie, and then Annie is the nickname for Anakin. But I thought of a story, but now I totally brain farted it. But oh
I'm
well.
supposed to have pregnancy brain, not you.
It's vicarious pregnancy brain. It's very
Right.
serious.
Yeah, it's spreading.
Hey, that's a real thing. That's a real thing, guys.
Yeah, Keith has had experience with children
Well,
existing.
that's right. How many children do you have, Keith?
I have one child, and she
Just one
is
child.
going to turn 3 soon, which is mind blowing. It's crazy.
Oh, that is exciting.
Yeah.
It is exciting. Because now 3. That is like they're cruising around, they're talking, right? I mean, this is.
I mean, she
fun
is like
begins.
she is a completely like independent human being. It blows my mind because I look at her baby pictures and I'm like, this was like yesterday. Now
Right.
she has interests, like she has movies and stuff that she likes, and she has opinions on things, and she's smart, and like I don't know, it's crazy. They turn into little humans so fast.
Yeah. People, I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do because that's exactly it. They're unique, like you're saying it, right? So you love Batman, and does she
I
like
love
Batman?
So I've tried to make Batman a thing, and Batman is a little bit of a thing. Like she's kind of into
right.
Batman, but I'll tell you what, she's super into Toy Story, which is not a problem by me at all.
Yeah.
I can watch the first 3 Toy Stories 1 billion times and never get bored.
Yeah.
Right.
Solid. That's awesome.
Yeah, they're timeless movies. They're absolutely timeless movies. So that's exactly. I just picture you at home. You like give her Batman, then she's like, "No, Buzz Lightyear." You know?
Just like how Buzz replaced Woody. Buzz
Yeah,
also replaced Batman.
exactly.
Yeah,
So it's like-
yeah.
Kara always says our kids are going to be nerds, but maybe like our kids gonna love Sherlock Holmes and be very
I'd be okay
serious
with
or
that.
something.
Yeah,
love
Sherlock Holmes is
Holmes.
the OG.
I don't know. I'm just coming up with whatever's
Well, here's the thing.
opposite of.
Leave it to a nerd. The first non-nerdy thing you can think of is Sherlock Holmes.
That's what's going on in my mind. Or his kid's gonna love Shawshank Redemption or something. Because Karen doesn't like it. I don't know.
Like our kid will just go straight into dramas. Just
Exactly.
That's it. And I'll be
Phantom of
like,
the Opera. I don't know what. I mean, what?
Phantom of the Opera's not a drama.
It's a melodrama.
It's a musical. It's wonderful.
Behold me and my scarred face in the rafters.
Yes, that's
Oh, that's
definitely
pretty
a
good.
song from Phantom of the
That
Opera.
totally was not even a thing, but yeah. I got a couple of comments we need to get to.
All
here.
right, comment up.
Gabe did reply with his
Ooh.
deep dark secret, but we'll get to that in a second. Brad says, "Is Jar Jar on the table for baby names? You can call him JJ."
Oh, hey, there you go, JJ.
Have you guys seen the meme of Jar Jar, and it shows I have a Jar Jar, and then the Jar Jar's in a jar.
Yep.
And so I've got a Jar Jar in a jar, and like it just like.
And when you
this
shake it, Jar Jar clinks.
right? Exactly. It's so funny. Oh my gosh. Anyway, continue. Sorry.
All right, so now Gabe's. I actually haven't read this yet. I just saw it's a paragraph,
Got it.
and it ends with a heart emoji. So hopefully the story turns out nice. Gabe says, my grandma passed away to cancer when I was watching the moment where Luke saw Obi-Wan's Force Ghost on Dagobah.
Oh.
And in my mind, being a small boy, I thought my grandma had become one with the Force. And since then, finding Star Wars has been a special part of my life.
Oh,
that's
that's
awesome.
awesome.
That like.
I mean, it's sad, but that has like sort of like a special place that like not a lot of people can really relate to.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's really beautiful, actually.
Yeah, it is.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Yeah.
And now I don't know what she looks like, but I picture your grandma as a Force ghost.
Yeah.
She probably wielding a badass lightsaber.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh.
Brad says,
I don't think too many fans can like say that they have that much of an emotional bond with the thing that they're a fan of. Like, I just love Batman. There's no,
Right.
I don't have any like story about it. I just like it.
Right.
But that's really cool, Gabe.
Gwen says she hopes your kid grows up loving Jurassic Park.
Hey, that's
I mean,
a great
I'd be
show.
okay with that too, as long as they don't super get into the Jurassic World ones. You know?
And then Brad said, you don't have to buy any baby books. Jeremy has all the stories this kid will ever need.
It is true. It is true.
So we talked about Star Wars names, Hardy Har Har. So Keith, just to recap for you, is when we did our announcement picture, we put Padme coming December
Padawan?
2020. Padawan. I'm out. No, I'm just kidding. Padawan coming December 20. I had multiple people contact me, and they're like, "Oh, Padawan's a great name." And I'm like, "It's not Padawan. It means a Jedi trainer."
That's how you know that people are lying to you.
Yes, exactly. I know. So it's like, okay, wait. If I ever have a booger in my nose or something in my teeth, you're not going to tell me because you don't want to make me feel bad.
Right.
Give it to me. Give it to me. Let me know. I got to get that thing out of there, you know? So,
That's
no, we're not going to
hilarious.
name the child Padawan.
No.
Um,
Can you imagine the nickname be Patty?
oh,
Like, nothing
man.
wrong with it, but like.
I like the name James. That's the one Kara's not sold on.
And I have compromised and said it can be middle name. But I know 5 gajillion Jameses, and I'm like,
And
Just
she doesn't
call him
like the
Big
nickname
Jimmy.
for James. That's the reason why.
I don't like. I'm sorry if your name is Jim. I do not care for the name Jim.
Well, let's ask.
Well, I'm going to talk to Jim after this, and you're going to be real upset.
Well, here's what's
Don't
funny. His
hate
name's
me.
James, and you're calling him Jim. Does he prefer James, or does he like Jim?
The only thing he doesn't like is Jimmy. He doesn't care what you call him as long as it's not Jimmy.
Got it. So James, Jim, just not. So Jim Bob?
Oh my gosh.
I don't know if
my
that's ever
gosh.
come up.
Jimbo?
That just solidified it.
Jimbo
Nope,
is a thing.
not
I don't know if
happening.
I don't know if he likes Jimbo either, but
Got it. All right.
Yep. Nope.
Man, you guys are
Not happening.
you guys are losing fans by the second here.
Justin says Justin is a great name. I know several souls with the name Justin.
Okay, so every single time I have a male patient, you know, they're like, "Oh, you're having a baby. You know what you have?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And you know, boy. And they're like, when they're leaving, they're like, "Don't forget, XYZ is a great name." And I'm like, yeah, okay.
Alexander is a great name.
I'm going to put you on blast.
Oh my gosh.
I actually really like the name Chris. But we cannot name him Chris because you're Chris.
You can call me Brownie, which everybody on Earth except for you does.
I like the name Chris, but I was like, damn it. I looked at Carol, I was like, we can't name him Chris.
Well, you name him like Christoph or something. Brad
Christoph
said Mace
isn't
is a
bad.
pretty good name too.
What
Mace
is?
isn't bad. Mace.
That's
Mace Manthe. That's pretty badass.
That's pretty cool, actually. Mace
That-
Manthe.
That's really freaking cool.
Oh my god.
I'm excited.
He's
Sorry.
excited.
Hopefully we
Now
drop those frames.
Now we can't name him Chris because the real one's a rogue.
Yep, I made this a PG-13 podcast
my
now.
God.
Well, and Keith, you've seen Office Space, I hope, right?
Oh yeah, of course. It's great.
So Chris Brown always reminds me of the fact, like, you know, Michael Bolton in that movie. Like, I had that name before that guy had it first. So
Michael. I forgot about Michael Bolton. That's great.
yeah, yep. And so I almost said Michael Keaton, but yeah, Michael Bolton. And then like he's in it first. And Chris, you're older than the singer, are you not?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you are.
I released. This is a funny story. I released an album before that singer did.
Really?
When I was working at the gas station, So you know Pat.
Yep.
So he's the store manager. As a joke gift to Pat, the assistant manager and the shift manager and I recorded a zero rehearsal, one take a cappella Christmas album with like 30 songs on it.
Oh my gosh.
And it was a train wreck. It was the absolute worst. Like I am a bad singer, and they're like maybe middling to fair. And it sounded like a train wreck. And he thought it was so hilarious. He made us play it all day on Christmas.
Really?
Oh
At the
God.
store?
At the store, we had a little radio there with a CD player, and we played it all day. And like when people would notice, they'd be like, "What is that?"
This is not Barnes and Noble. This is not good music. This is
Yeah, it was. But so I did release an album before him.
Oh, there you go.
Chris
So
is
we got a
reading
couple
listener
of,
comments. Well, while you're saying that really quickly, I just want to say I was called out for calling you Chris and not Brownie.
Yes.
I cannot tell you how many people, when I reference you, I use your first and last name so people don't get you mistaken for another Chris. I can't count on my hands the amount of people said, you know Chris Brown? And it's like,
Oh, yeah.
not the singer, people, not
But
the
you can
singer.
say, but he is a singer, actually.
But this is my friend. Like, this is way better than the singer.
Christmas, my true love.
But calling him Brownie though, like to somebody who doesn't know him, doesn't help either. Because I was on the phone with my mom a little while ago, and she knew I was going to do a podcast, and I'm like, "All right, Mom, I got to go. Brownie's going to be calling me soon." She's like, "Who's going to be calling you soon?" I'm like, "Brownie." Oh, Brownie. He, it's not his real name. People call him Brownie. Don't worry about it. It's because even just calling him Brownie still requires an explanation when you're talking to people who don't know him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so the thing you need to know about me is I just always require explanation no matter what.
It would be really funny if your grandma was, if you said, "Oh, Chris Brown is calling me," and she's like, "Oh, what, the singer?"
Yeah.
Hey, Grandma, listening to Chris Brown. Oh man.
Justin's like, I need to hear this album. My sister said Kevin, who was the shift manager, sounded good. He did have a decent voice. And Eric had a decent one too. Brad bleeped me out.
Oh,
he
nice.
put bleep for my accidental swear word. Gabe says, call him Gabriel. That's a good name.
Yeah, there we go.
And then Justin said we need to bring the Ernest back. Ernest isn't a terrible name either. I like Ernest.
But the nickname Ernie.
I like Ernie.
Okay, so here's the thing. The first guy I dated.
Jeremy, are you ready for this?
So he was adopted from Colombia. And his name when he was adopted was Ernesto,
That's such a good name.
That's actually a sweet name.
which is Ernest, Ernie, in English.
So did you call him Ernie?
No, his parents changed his name to Wested.
What? I would have
Did
been.
you say Wested?
Wested. Wested.
Like you went west. You wested?
Yes, and his nickname is West.
That is
anyway,
infinitely times worse than Ernesto.
his name was Ernesto. Ernie.
I like it. It's got that
Anyway.
dramatic Latin flair.
But anyway, I dated an Ernest, so no, sorry.
Well, that's off the list. Well, did you
All right.
date a Gabriel?
No.
So that name is available.
Oh, and the funny thing with Wes, his dad's name was Bert.
No
So it
way,
was
Bert and Ernie.
That is great.
So I was gonna ask that question. Is Sesame Street Ernie
Bert and Ernie.
Ernesto? Or
No,
Ernest?
I think it's just Ernie.
I think
Just
it's
Ernie?
Yeah.
It's not.
But so I'm gonna say I like Ernesto. You also could do like Roberto and call him Bert. I think Bert is an underrated nickname.
I like Scandinavian names and then really old time names like 1920s type
But
thing.
so
James has been popular for 250
but again,
years.
there's just so many, and right now it's like in the top 10 for 2020, and it's like
I like Robert's not bad because you can do Rob, Bob,
I don't
Bobbert.
like the name Bob.
Bobbert.
Okay, so funny. I didn't date a friend of mine in college. His name was Robert, and we'd call him Bobbert.
Wow. Watch your own Bobbert.
Yeah.
Anyways, so okay, this is going to be more difficult than I realized to come up with a name. There was another name that we came up with, and I can't think of it. What was another one we got
Recently?
stuck on? Yeah, that I liked, and then you said why we couldn't do it.
Oh, I don't know. There's been so many.
It's been a lot. I'm trying.
I
You call him
tried.
California. And
I
then you just
tried
call him Cal.
Malachi. I think the name Malachi is great.
That's
And
far
Jeremy's
too
like-
biblical for me.
Jeremy's like, it sounds like somebody who'd go around beating other kids up. And I'm like,
Yeah,
do you
exactly.
know anybody by the name of Malachi?
But so
Like,
here's the thing: it's so many syllables. What are you gonna call him, Mal?
okay, Firefly, hello. His
I haven't
nickname is
seen
Mal.
Firefly. You call him Kai, I guess.
You could
No.
call him Kai.
We've also gone through Arlo, Reuben,
Judah.
Judah, which people are going to think is Judas, and he's a betrayer.
Yeah. Methuselah.
Methuselah. So what, his nickname would be Meth?
Yes. We call him Thuzy, duh.
Thuzy. Oh my gosh.
Oh, Justin commented Methuselah right when I said, because there's a lag in the
Yeah,
thing,
yeah,
so I beat you to it, Justin, unfortunately.
And then, you know, if we crowdsource this, it would just end up being Kitty McKidface or something.
Right.
So,
Mandy
the child.
McMahonface.
Yes, or the child.
The
Yes,
child.
exactly. Because, you know, who doesn't love Bodie McBoatface?
Yeah.
Oh, it's true.
So we can't give that one
Well,
away,
you heard
sorry.
about Macaulay Culkin crowdsourcing a middle name, didn't you?
No. Did you hear about that, Keith?
I had no idea.
He had posted about it on
What,
his Twitter.
what did they come up with?
So the name that everyone chose was Macaulay Culkin as his middle name. So it's Macaulay Culkin.
So wait,
Macaulay Culkin.
Did you snort, Kara? Not letting that one go.
so it's Macaulay Culkin.
Yes, that is amazing.
That's awesome.
That is the best. You could name your kid Macaulay Culkin Manthe. You know, like how people do, like, so there's like George Washington Carver or
Right.
whatever, so you could do Macaulay Culkin Manthe.
Oh, man. This poor child. They have to live with this name forever.
Brad suggested Martin, but spelled E-N, because he's a soldier of God and war, or soldier of the God of war. So,
People dropping
That's kinda
sweet
cool.
knowledge on us.
Martin Manthe, that's not bad. It's not as good as Mace. I like Mace the best, honestly, so far.
I still like Mace Manthe also. That kid, he's going to grow up to be a private eye or something cool.
He's gonna
Private eye.
smash people hard, that's all I know.
A little bit of light side, a little bit of dark side. Carry around a purple lightsaber.
Exactly.
Mace James.
Well, because Kara said I can have James as a middle name.
So you know what's funny? Jim Mallory, the guy that I know, James.
yes, yep.
He, on his Facebook, one of his nicknames is Mace, but spelled M-E-I-S. So I always see James Mace, and you just said Mace James, and it's just like tripping
Whoa,
with
yeah,
me. But
parallel. Yeah.
Mace James isn't bad at all.
No, it's not.
Well,
MJM, that's a cool nickname too.
keep watching, because in December you'll find out what we actually
Yeah.
decided to go with.
If you donate $1,000 a month on Patreon, you can name their baby.
It took more than $1,000.
Gwen said put a silent J in front of Mace so everybody wins.
Okay,
I
yes.
thought what Jeremy wants to keep the J's going in the family.
My dad's Jerry, and then I'm Jeremy, and then James. It would have been fine.
See, and then if you have a little girl, you name her Jessie.
No, because then it's
And then you have a cat named Meow.
stop that Pikachu.
Jesse changing me up. Oh my gosh, I didn't even think of that.
We're blasting off again.
My goodness.
We had
Well, that drug it to a screaming halt. Sorry about that.
I don't know, how do you follow that up other than doing an impression? Because that's what Kara does Jesse really, really well.
Oh
so
man, but being on the spot.
Yeah, that's all right. We can move past. Actually, so Keith, can you do any impressions?
Yeah.
Nope.
Nope. Very good.
I got nothing.
Jeremy does a decent James.
Yeah, but we'll name the kid Coffin.
Right? See, he does a good James. And
No.
Jesse just gets really loud, so I don't want to blast anybody's eardrums
Oh,
out.
here's something sort of Nordic. You could name him Jensen.
Well, okay, so when I hear Jensen, my immediate thought is the Jetsons.
Oh, okay.
It's not a bad name, but I immediately think of the Jetsons.
Oh, I remember. We picked up another name. That's what I was going to say. It's her cousin already named her child that recently. Eli. I like Eli a lot.
It's a cute name.
It's a cute
But
name.
yeah, my
and
cousin named her kid that.
we like Oliver, but that's our dog's name. We already used up our
You're
good name.
named after the dog.
We named the dog Indiana. I do love Indiana Jones.
You name him
but-
Sala. Sala's a cool name.
What is?
Sala.
That's
It'd be
Indiana
Sala?
Jones's friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sala.
That's not a bad name.
Justin says Max Rebo.
So Keith, sorry that you got sucked into talking
Baby
about
names.
baby names all night. When did you?
Well,
when did you
I've been
guys
down
know
these
for your
roads
daughter?
before. They never end.
You don't have to say what it is, but when did you know? When did you guys know, like right away, or did it take you to the last minute? Do you remember?
Oh man, it's a blur. I know. So we had one name kind of sort of picked out, and then I told my mom and sister what that name was, and it immediately got vetoed as not the name because I told it to them. So don't do that, Jeremy. I got in big trouble
Got it.
over that.
Got it.
And then so when we decided on Olivia, I don't even know. I mean, I think we like had it in our back pocket as like a strong possibility, and then when she actually came into the world and we met her and we were like, okay, yeah, she's an Olivia. So I don't think it was until she actually arrived that it was like a final decision.
Set in stone.
That's what I hear from a lot
Right.
of people. Like I've known so many people who they've been set on a name, and then baby comes out, they take one look and they're like, wow, you are not a John. Like. So I mean, we can be settled on a name,
Right, and then change
but
it.
then baby can come out looking like a Fred. You know what I'm saying?
Well, what does a Fred look like?
Yeah,
Kara?
well,
Enlighten
apparently
us.
your baby.
Okay, seriously though, have you guys not ever met a person where you look at them and you're like, you hear their name and you're like, you look more like a Rachel. Like you don't look like a Catherine, you look like a Rachel. Have you never met somebody like that?
I've definitely had that experience.
So I mean, something like that.
The trippy, weird one for me is try to picture myself with a different name. And it's like you try on different names. Has anybody ever done that? Like I thought, like, would I be a good Kevin?
You
Or
look
would I
like a
be
Jeremy
good...
though.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
I can't stick on one besides Jeremy.
I was gonna be an Elizabeth.
I can see Elizabeth though.
You
I can
think so?
see it.
I think
You're- That's a good fit.
So I was.
But
gonna be
Kara's a
Elizabeth
great fit. I
Evelyn.
like Kara, but I mean, I have not found a name other than
Good
Kara.
recovery, Jeremy.
So okay, my maiden name's Hovenstein, and so I was gonna be Elizabeth Evelyn Hovenstein, and my mom and dad were like, "That's gonna be a long
E-H.
name to spell."
A
And
lot of
so-
syllables.
A lot. So then they ended up shortening it to Kara, and yeah, I don't know if we're doing middle names here, so
That's
whatever.
fine. You're good.
All right, we have some chat to catch up.
All right,
with.
let's get caught up on chat.
Oh dang, Brad definitively says Kara is not a Liz.
Thank you.
Justin said, "Wait, is this the Keith of Gravedigger Dave's halfway house?"
Yes.
If you want to know, he's the one who added it to Letterboxd, which is why it's popping up on random movie lists as of recently.
Oh,
Hey,
interesting.
Well, thank you for doing that, Justin. That's awesome. I didn't even know that Letterboxd existed.
Justin also did a fantastic review of your movie too,
Yeah.
back
Oh, yes.
in March.
Yeah,
Really good.
I know he was a lot kinder than the movie probably deserved. So thank you, Justin. So when you were reading comments from Justin, I was like, oh, I bet it's the cinephile Justin.
Yeah.
It
Well,
is.
he's posting at Cinephile Studios. I'm just saying Justin.
Oh, okay, there you go.
We got a couple other name suggestions we'll just run through real quick. We've
Got
got
it.
Brad says he didn't say Elroy in response to the Jetsons. Elroy, I think, not a terrible name.
I don't mind that actually.
It's
Elroy.
close to Eli.
It's like it's an old name.
Yeah.
But it hasn't come around, so like every single kid has that name.
Yeah.
That might be a contender. We'll see.
You can shorten it to Roy if you wanted to. I have a story about the name Roy. Remind me to tell me the story of the name Roy. It's fun. It's not going to make you not want it.
Okay.
Gwen demands to know what name got vetoed by your sister and your mom, Keith.
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow, that's a fun. It's Anna, and
No
it didn't
way.
get it didn't get vetoed by my mom and my sister. It got vetoed because I told. So really, it got vetoed by my wife.
Yeah.
Because she was not happy that I had like spilled the beans on what the top contender was
Yes.
for our daughter's name, and it was like, I don't know, it kind of like spoiled the name. So
yeah.
but maybe for kiddo number 2, we'll see.
Yeah. I definitely want to keep. I was more than happy to let everybody know that we were having a boy, but I definitely want to keep the name under wraps, because you hear about people who are pregnant at the same time and they end up stealing your name.
I was just
Oh,
about to
yeah.
say a story about that.
And so I want to keep the name under wraps from family, from everyone until baby's born. And I know like your mom will probably and my mom will probably be like, so what's the name?
Oh,
So,
get ready for months of that.
Yep, we're gonna have to.
Okay, I have a compromise for you. If you want to name your child Chris, but you don't want to call him Chris, you name him Christopher James and call him CJ.
CJ is not bad.
Here's
CJ
the
Manthe.
You'd mentioned Christoph. We could.
Oh.
His nickname could be Toph.
I
Yeah.
like Christoph because I love Christoph Waltz.
Yep.
Ooh.
There's some options.
Now I will say this though. I don't know
That's
if I should
not the name.
It could,
I repeat.
like, here's the thing though. Christoph is also from Frozen.
So what?
Okay, I didn't know if that would make a difference.
Yeah.
I do like the name, but I do think the name, like, Toph is from Avatar. Granted, it's a girl, but I think
Yeah.
Toph could be a boy or a girl
and
nickname.
badass too.
Yeah.
Right?
I'd be an earthbender.
Interesting.
Brad says Kara's facial expressions on these names. It's okay if you can say hell no, it won't hurt my feelings.
I'm Minnesota nice, Brad. I can't do that.
Ashley says you should name him Jet. That's a cool name. Jet.
Jet's not
Manthe.
bad.
Okay,
Two
so
T's.
we just finished watching the season of DuckTales that's on Disney Plus, and so there's Huey, Dewey, and Louie, and in the new DuckTales, their mom comes back. And
Spoiler.
she hears their spoiler. She finds out
Della
their names
Duck.
are Huey, Dewey, and Louie, and she looks at.
This is awesome.
She looks at
Donald.
Scrooge. Donald's not there.
Oh, that's
She looks
right.
at Scrooge and she's like, "You named them what?" She was like, "They were supposed to be Jet and
Turbo.
and what was the other one?"
I don't remember, but the blue one goes, I
was-
could have been Turbo!
So instead they get Huey, Dewey, and Louie instead of these awesome names.
Yeah. Also, okay, so speaking of cool names, so this is from a cartoon show, it's from Johnny Quest. You can name him Race.
Voiced by James Arnold Taylor.
James Arnold Taylor.
Really?
Johnny
Yep,
Quest.
the guy who did-
Johnny Test, not
Johnny
Quest.
Test. Yeah, the Johnny Quest.
Quest.
This is the 60s.
Oh.
There is a
Sorry.
difference, yes.
I heard Johnny Test, not Johnny Quest.
But yeah, no, yeah, but yeah, you can name him Race because Race Bannon. That's a cool, strong name.
we were supposed to be.
Ashley says David says Jethro.
Ooh, that's a little too redneck for me.
Redneck.
Brad says that Kara upgraded on the last name.
Oh, thank you. Awesome.
Wait.
Fist bump to that. You upgraded.
Oh, yeah.
Gwen said Toph is good. Give him some rocks.
Ha!
Right, exactly. Be an earthbender.
So Justin wants to know a little bit about your next movie project, Keith. So I don't know if you want to do a quick recap.
Recap away.
Oh, I was
anything
actually-
else.
I was actually typing to Justin as you said that. So the next movie project, to recap, is it's an anthology film that's kind of crowdsourced from filmmakers around the world. So the shorts are coming in from, I think, 30 different countries now, and there's 60 short films that I've currently received. And Gravedigger Dave will again serve as host. And so it's kind of going to be a different ball game for the second one. So I'm really excited. It's really shaping up to be a lot better than the first one, and just like a really cool project.
It's gonna be awesome.
Aiming high is saying a lot better than the first
Yeah,
one.
I mean-
I'll say that.
Yeah.
Well,
Jeremy
why
will be
else
there
do
for
one,
this one,
right?
too.
Like
Yeah, exactly.
if you don't go into a sequel thinking this is going to be a lot better than the first one, you probably shouldn't
mean,
even do a
that's-
sequel.
That's
It's like, yeah, this one's going to be a lot cash grabbier than the first one. That's how I'm operating.
so, yeah.
Juliet just tuned in.
Oh,
Hello,
hi,
Juliet.
Well, you're in for a treat, Juliet. So we're having a boy,
Yeah.
and we've spent the last 30 minutes arguing over possible name choices.
You know, some
all
of the
just to
names-
find out that Kara doesn't want it to be known until the baby is born.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. But I'm taking all the suggestions I can get, and like
That's
I said,
true.
we could be set on a name, and then baby could come out, and it could be, you do not look like what we had picked out. You know.
Yeah.
I say we bring in the wheel, Chris. We write down all the suggestions on the
Oh
wheel
my
and we
gosh.
spin it.
Ooh, I like that.
So we have to.
The smile on your face with that idea, Jeremy.
What?
You're like, I like that idea.
Here's the thing, though. We'd have to get two wheels, one with first names, and then one with a choice of middle names.
Wait, what's that bird's name?
Morai.
That's a sweet name.
Morai. Do you know it's also a Bible name?
Is it?
It's Esther's dad. Mordecai. Mordecai is Esther's dad.
I
Sorry.
honestly
bad.
really like Mordecai.
Mordecai.
Mordecai?
You call him Morty if you wanted to. Like, Morty, we gotta get like to the portal, Morty. There's like the Council of Ricks, Morty.
I think Morai is not a bad name. I feel Morai would be more like a middle name. Just like...
Brad says the Wheel of Destiny.
The Wheel of Destiny.
The name wheel.
Someday we tell our kids, so we picked your name based off of a spinning wheel.
Man, that's a way cooler origin story than my name.
Is it you have an origin story, or are you just being funny?
No. Oh, okay. I'm going to tell you the story of... Oh, crap. What was it now? What was the name that I told you to remind me of?
I don't remember.
Because I always forget until I hear it, and it's like, Roy.
Roy, yes.
Okay. So... I knew a Roy growing up, right? And that's the only Roy I've ever known. And not a particularly noteworthy person, but just know that I've only ever known one Roy. And so I'm hanging out with a buddy of mine, mid-2000s, and I was like working on a short story, and it was like, I need like an evil supervillain name, right? So I'm hanging out with my buddy, he's like, what's right off the top of your head, what's a supervillain name? And he's like, Roy.
Poor Roy.
So now...
That's so funny.
I forget that the name exists, and as soon as I hear Roy, I immediately think of that conversation. It's like, oh, the supervillain, you mean?
How do you get supervillain from Roy?
That's the dude has just such a wacky sense of humor. I'm sure he was trolling me, but it's just so funny to me. Like, so I can't hear the name Roy without thinking of like the supervillain. Oh my goodness. Anyway, so sorry, I thought that was a funny story. Anyway.
So this is just a random for Keith. So Keith, you haven't seen Chris much in person just because Chris works from home now, and you still go into work, don't you? Right?
No, I'm mostly from home, and it's funny. I haven't seen Brownie for like 4 months, and then I saw you twice this week, and now we're on the podcast together tonight. So It's like I went from like no Brownie at all to all the brownies.
That's funny.
I prefer all the brownies over no Brownie at all, for the record.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that.
So just because you guys both enjoy the technical aspect of video production and film production, so we thought our podcast stream, this new setup we had, that lightning bolts were causing interference.
Oh, you're gonna bring
with our
this up?
equipment.
Oh, sorry guys, thanks for watching the stream.
Chris's
No,
cell
push your phone closer,
was
Chris.
too close to the stream equipment. It was causing green flashes and interference. But it was really funny. The last 3 weeks or whatever prior to that, we had lightning storms in Cloquet each time. So it was like the whole correlation, causation, are not linked. But yes, Chris's cell phone turned out to be the culprit. So if you guys were, around the water cooler at work, I would say you probably would have heard the story. But because you haven't seen each other really, I just thought that was funny. Just thought you might get a kick out of it because.
Well, at work, whenever I mess up a shoot, I always blame it on an act of God. It's just like,
that's what it was. Yeah, lightning. It's gotta be
earthquake.
Right.
Fire falling from the sky.
There's a plague of locusts, and that's why it's out of focus.
There's a tsunami coming off of Lake Superior.
Juliet says, no, not Roy. The one... she said, in reference to Mordecai, she doesn't want to try and typing it in. She doesn't want to misspell it.
Or your autofilter for swear words will probably be like, what are you trying to say?
I'm still actively editing that. Like, Justin tried typing album, and apparently bum was one of the filtered words. So it says AL star star star.
I just picture some kids in school and somebody says bum, and the teacher's like, no, you can't say that.
That's a swear word.
Go to the principal's office.
Kiss my bum. Oh man, and that was the other thing too. Is okay. This is just a fun thing to think about. Sorry, you're wrapped into story time, Keith. That's all there is to it. Is
that's what
whenever you go
is about.
Right.
Yes.
Whenever you go to your friend's house, you make a new friend when you're a kid, right? 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th grade. Doesn't matter. You make a new friend and you go meet their parents for the first time. You realize kids grow up with different words that are considered swear words.
Oh, yeah.
So like one house, you can totally say fart. Or whatever, right? And I mean, I went to a friend's house and fart was a swear word. You can only say toot.
Who was
And
that?
it's like, I don't want to, no, but it's just
Not going to put him on blast.
It's not going to put him on blast.
I
but
couldn't say fart as a kid.
fart's totally fine.
Couldn't say fart. Couldn't say dang. Couldn't
Exactly.
You just sound
So-
like Harry Seinfeld. Fart's totally fine.
But I mean, like, so damn's another one. I could totally say damn, and then for some people that's inappropriate, I mean, you got the big ones. You got the low-hanging fruit, the female dog.
The thing I said earlier in the podcast.
Yeah, exactly. I get that, but
Yeah, the poop word.
poop could be inappropriate to some people.
Yeah, it's stool, Jeremy.
It's just
I need to go to the restroom and make a stool.
Oh my gosh.
oh man. So I would just picture that joke being on Parks and Rec, and it's Ron, and he actually like makes a stool, like wood turns one out of wood. I don't know if that's what you're laughing about, or just the fact that there's a stool in the back. Chris has absolutely lost it.
When Chris loses, I lose. I'm sorry.
Wait. How's the weather there, Keith? How's it going? Where these two are?
I don't know if I've ever heard Brownie laugh that hard before.
Oh my goodness.
It happens a few times.
I hate how funny I think I am.
That was in Brad's email. He says he loves how funny Chris thinks he is, or whatever. Too good.
But then when Chris starts laughing, I start laughing, and Jeremy's like, I don't know what's wrong with you two.
He still needs a minute to.
Well, then Brian's sitting
goodness.
back there laughing. He had to leave the freaking room.
When Jarrett was down as an audience, he was losing it, laughing so hard at some of the jokes. And
Oh man.
I'm gonna read this since Brownie can't. Gwen writes, Brownie is so pleased with himself. Clearly he is.
my self-satisfaction level is off the charts. Oh goodness.
anyways, that was just one of my stories. Was as as a kid, I just remember going over and it was like somebody else's parents telling me you can't say that, and then I was like, oh, all right, and then you go somewhere else and it's like you can't say that either, and so that was just a long.
Basically, any euphemism of a swear word, I was not allowed to say. So like, gosh, darn, fart. I don't know.
You can say
fart's not
cockamamie.
You can say that.
Oh, I love it. So talk about that. That's a loophole word, right? So you refer cockamamie. Let's just go with it, right?
Yes.
So you can just say that. Oh, then you latch onto it, and be like cockamamie, because you're like legit. You can't. It's not bad. It's on your list because you can't say can't take off manie.
Yeah.
But go ahead, Keith.
I worked at a summer camp and we weren't allowed to swear at all, on staff, but we could say crap. So every curse became crap. It was what the crap and crap you crap and crapper, So as a result of them banning certain words but saying crap was okay, crap became so overused it was ridiculous.
That's funny. I couldn't say crap either.
Well, I'm surprised you could say good morning. I don't know. It's just everything's illegal.
What's
You
so
make
good
it
about
legal.
It was funny though, because you'd go and say shoot, and every once in a while my parents thought that we did not say shoot.
You said the other one.
Yep.
Well, now I get it too, because when I'm older, I can't hear as well. So when your parents do say whatever, we just can't be. If we do have another child, we just can't be the one that gets their names mixed up, because it's like every grandparent and parents.
Oh, that's
always
just life.
Yeah.
Your grandpa calls for you and is like, Gwen, Chris, come over here.
Our studio audience member Ryan, he'll be hanging out with somebody, and then he'll call me on the phone and he'll call me that person's name constantly.
Oh, he's shaking his head no, but I happen to believe Chris.
Whenever we hang out with my mom's sister, my aunt, she always calls me Sherry. And I'm like, really, Mom? Really? I'm your daughter. But so yeah, she'll call me Sherry, and she'll call my Aunt Sherry Kara.
The case of the mistaken identity.
Yep.
Gabe says that Puerto Rico is swear word paradise.
I would have him type something in, but it would just get filtered.
Yeah,
by
I know.
your
It's like you
bum
can't type
cover.
anything in. My word filter's the strongest. I should have never copy pasted. I should have just come up with a list. Juliet says, speaking about stories, I can't wait for Jeremy to be sharing stories about his son when he's older.
Oh, I know. Well, keep him away from wiring electrical hot and everything else. So, okay. So, one of the funniest Chris's has ever laughed, Keith, was, did you hear we talked about some stories, okay? And my coworker was obsessed with getting these new pair of Crocs. And I've got two stories here. And so we came up with a funny joke that if you decked out... So first, Keith, do you own a pair of Crocs? Let's just get that straight for the record.
I do. Do I? No, I do not own a pair of Crocs.
But you do know that little strap that goes behind your foot, right?
Oh yeah, my daughter's got Crocs, so I'm well aware of the strap.
Do you have a name for that strap?
No, I think I'd probably just call it the heel strap, maybe.
So I heard two funny ones. One girl at work called it the adventure strap because if you're going to put it on, you're going on for an adventure. And then Chris came up.
Hello, Dan. I'm going on an adventure.
And then Chris came up with Croc Lock.
Ooh.
Because it locks your Crocs on. So then he took it a step further, and Kara said that this is the last time he left. He's already losing it. Okay, you could bedazzle your Crocs. So Chris says, "Oh, what? Like a Croc ring?" So he lost it when he said that.
So that slid in. People didn't catch it right away, and then Jeremy thought that I said the other thing.
Yes.
And then I'm sitting here losing my mind at how clever I thought I was. So that everything just fell apart at that point.
So here's what's funny about the podcast is when I bring up a topic, since that podcast, I've had at least 10 pictures of Crocs sent to me. Camouflage Crocs that people, because Derek can't find a pair. That was the joke, because Derek couldn't find a pair. I've had people send me riding motorcycles, and they've got the adventure strap on or the Croc Lock on. I've seen tons of Crocs come through my inbox. So last week, we were talking about 90s nostalgia, and I told a Pog story. After that, I got a phone call. My mom still has Pogs from the 90s. Not mine, her own Pogs.
Your
that
mom
she
likes
liked to
being
collect.
with the trends, I'll say that.
Yeah, she did. We had Beanie Babies and everything else. But yes, my mom actually has some Pogs. So I was going to go get them and be like, bam, and then, drop Pogs.
Does your mom
on
have a
my-
tech deck?
No, she doesn't.
I don't believe
Did
you.
we talk about a tech deck?
No.
We talked about those at work this week because you're not going to believe what I've been playing this past week.
Tony Hawk's Underground.
No. Hacky sack.
Really?
And
Ooh.
not gonna lie, I'm not bad at it, actually. I'm kind of good. I can do like 10 on my own with no help.
Dang. That's 10 more than I've ever done.
And then
I don't have the knee flexibility to make that happen.
I've learned the lingo now. So if you search for hacky sack, I want to know, do people call it hacky sack or do they call it foot bag? Because if you go to buy one...
like an insult.
Are there any people in the world who call it foot bag?
Well, if you go to buy one...
Hey, get out of your foot bag.
It could be a Minnesota thing. Because if you go to buy one, if you look up hacky sack, it says, oh, do you mean foot bag? And people sell them as foot bags.
I wonder
So-
if Hacky Sack is a brand.
Yeah, maybe
Maybe,
it's like trademarked.
Interesting.
Oh, and Kleenex is a tissue.
Well, then
know?
I
facial
learned,
tissue.
though, that if you're playing foot bag and you drop it, you've broke the hack. That was the lingo from the 90s, I guess. So I don't know if it
Slang is weird.
evolved into hacky sack, but that was called breaking the hack.
Brad says foot bag.
That's coming from California. We know it's not foot bag.
So we have been, I just the nostalgia, but guess what? Do you know I get okay, not going to throw myself under the bus, but there may be some days on the weekend or whatever, I might not take a shower for a day, okay? And Carol will be like, oh, did you shower today? Did you shower today? Did you shower today? Yes, woman, I showered.
Oh, wow.
Anyways,
This is the spousal
so-
abuse podcast.
playing hacky sack, I get so sweaty that I can't even wait until nighttime to take a shower. We play hacky sack, we get an hour to work out, so we've been playing hacky sack. I get so sweaty and worked up playing hacky sack that I have to shower the instant I get home. I can't even wait because of how sweaty I am. It's ridiculous. That is a cardio workout because you're picking we're not that good as a group, so it's like somebody misses, you pick the ball up, or pick up the foot bag or the hacky sack. And it's like I'm up and then I'm down and then I'm up and then I'm down and then I'm up and then I'm down. You just get sweaty. It's unbelievable. I can feel my heart rate go up. It's my new exercise. Who needs to run? Just play hacky sack. It'll let you know how out of shape you are. I swear.
Do you have any hacky sack stories, Keith? You were a cool guy once.
So we used to play hacky sack a lot in high school, and we weren't good enough to do the real moves, so we made up all our own moves. So when the hacky sack is coming too high for you to kick, you stick out your elbow. That was called the one-finned fish. Oh, and then when you kick the hacky sack really hard and it makes a big arch in the air, we called that the golden arches.
Nice.
Oh, and then there was another one so I'm sure this happens to you lately, Jeremy, when you're playing, but
the hacky sack, it's about to kind of go towards one person, but it might be kind of closer to another person, and it just kind of falls to the ground, and neither person goes for it.
Yep.
That's called a scary.
I've got to tell people these now, or like do it at work.
You both got scared, so nobody went for it. It was a scary. And then there's
or you kick each other's foot, like you both.
Yeah, I forgot.
Just kick each other.
I think that might have just been called a stupid. But like every eventuality, these aren't even really moves I'm describing. There's just like eventualities, but every eventuality that could happen in hacky sack had a name.
Okay, well,
that's awesome.
Since you've played, and has everybody played? Have you played hacky sack?
I never played. I watched people, but I never played.
I used to try and play in middle school.
So there's a problem with where we work is that there's obstacles.
Yeah, there's not enough hacky sack space in this government building.
Light bulbs in the corner.
There's chairs in the way and workbenches and miscellaneous things are in the way, right? So I thought, how cool would it be to have a hacky sack park, but that was like a pinball machine? So if you kicked it onto a surface that wasn't the ground, it like launched it back. Like a pinball machine. I think that would be a really cool room. Like if you had a stadium.
If you could engineer that, that would be interesting.
Wouldn't that be kind of cool? Like if the hacky sack fell on it and then it would be like boom and then kick it back into play. That way you wouldn't lose it to these like stalls.
Just hopefully it doesn't launch into somebody's face.
Then you hit it and then you hack it up again.
What I'm hearing, Jeremy, is you're too old to bend over to pick up a hacky sack.
Well, or it falls onto stuff. That's like not in a thing, but keep it going, you know? Because if it's on the floor, it's dead. That's fine.
Brad says, "Who gets sweaty playing hacky sack?"
I broke my leg playing pickleball.
Yeah, your athletic prowess isn't anything to be proud of.
It's not. It's truly not. The biggest shocker, seriously, out of every story I've ever told is I start off with, well, back when I was playing like hockey, this blah, 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 people always stop me and go, "You played hockey?" Well, yes, I did, actually, as a matter of fact. I wasn't bad at all.
Gwen said you love a room with pegs.
Yes, exactly. Anyways, all right, so hacky sack's making a comeback. Saying it now.
He wants me to crochet him a BB-8 hacky sack and a Death Star hacky sack. And I was like, how difficult that would be to crochet those tiny little designs and this tiny
you gotta
little
get the beans in there somehow.
Right, seriously, like, dude, I am not that good. Like, go to Etsy. Etsy probably has it.
No, they don't. There's not that many Star Wars hacky sacks. There's not that many hacky sacks anymore. Well, you got to look for foot bag first off. And then
BB-8 foot bag.
And then you're on I do agree. Somebody said it sounds like an insult.
It does. You're such a foot bag.
Goodness.
Oh, thanks, Kara.
Gwen says make a bunch of them and sell them for money, Kara.
Do you know how long it take me to make one?
Just sell them for $100.
100 years.
Some loser out there pay $100 for one like Jeremy.
All right. Well, so Keith, you were on tonight. It has been a joy. Do you have any ending words of wisdom, any last plugs you want to do for projects or anything? The floor is yours, Keith, before we wrap up tonight.
Well, it's just great to be here. It sucks that I can't say that on this podcast. It stinks that it's been so long since I've seen you guys because of all the quarantine and all that stuff. But yeah, it's just great to be back. Thanks for having me.
I agree. It has we learned a lot tonight. Mm-hmm. We're going to keep tweaking our processes because our goal, Keith, is to have more guests on. And right now, like word or over the phone is the best way to go. That's for sure is to do that. So we got to refine our process. So you were really like a guinea pig tonight. I'm serious. Like we really appreciate you working through us. I want to say, just so people know, we have Keith over online, which is going to be the audio that's recorded, and Keith on the phones. We have you in two things so that Kara and I can also hear you, which is just really funny to me. But we're doing these things to make it work. And I think for a couple of people from northern Minnesota, it turned out pretty good. Turned out really good. I'm very excited. Chris, if you've got room, I will wear a mask if I can come watch or be a part of the wraparounds. I would love that.
We're working on getting a location right now, and I promised them that we would keep it to an absolute minimum in terms of people.
Yep.
So I don't know if I can let you come around and watch, but I will take pictures for you.
Jeremy's going to crawl up into a tree somewhere with binoculars and just watch them.
Right.
I would love that, actually.
Right. It's like the joke we have with Chris being our photographer when we go on
Yeah,
do
when I
like
sit in the bush.
Disneyland and things like that.
So I do have to make you sit through Star Wars leaks, Keith. Unfortunately, that's the life that we live. So
Okay, I'm down.
we go onto Reddit, and so we are a Star Wars podcast. That means we have to talk about Star Wars occasionally to maintain that status.
At least once.
And the thing that we came up with is going on to reddit.com/r/Star Wars leaks and looking at the top posts of the last week. So this week, the top posts of r/Star Wars leaks. Looks like Darth Vader #4 features the return of Rick Oley, the pilot from The Phantom Menace.
Oh, interesting. Okay. All right.
I'm not super familiar, but that's
Darth
that
Vader
was,
#4.
The comic. Marvel
Yeah.
comic.
Oh,
Yep.
Ludwig Göransson will return to score season 2 of The Mandalorian.
oh, if he did
Oh,
the-
that's very good news.
Yes, yes, it is.
He is quoted as saying, "We started a couple months ago. I'm extremely excited. John is taking the story to places I didn't even know existed, and I think it's so fun."
Oh,
I'm so excited.
I'm freaking excited.
October. We're almost there, guys. We're
Couldn't say that at my
almost
friend's
there.
house, Chris.
Oh my gosh.
I'm so forking excited.
The horse apiece. I'm just kidding.
The official Jedi Fallen Order soundtrack will be released August 21st. That's Thursday, I believe.
That's coming up. Yeah. Wow.
They're doing a Lego Star Wars holiday special on Disney Plus. I saw this.
I saw that. I'm,
Yes.
I'm kind of excited.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's going to be awesome. That's actually 2 posts in a row are about that. And then StarWars.com has revealed the narrators for Star Wars The Clone Wars Stories of Light and Dark, which include Clone Wars voice actors.
Oh,
James
cool.
Arnold Taylor, Matt Lanter, Corey Burton, Nikita Futerman, Sam Witwer, voice of Darth Maul,
Cool.
Is
Olivia
Dee Bradley
Hack,
Baker?
and Catherine
I'm
Taylor.
sure. I'm sure.
Oh, Dee Bradley Baker's not in there.
Not on this list, but I'm sure that they might have.
Yeah, a bigger
And
list.
Catherine Tabor is the voice of Padme, so
So yeah,
and
so
James are quite
they're bringing
close.
back the heavy hitters.
that's awesome. That's
And then I
awesome.
have one that we can end on. You ready?
Yes.
I have a Star Wars leak. They just came out with the comic that has made the connection between Luke's lightsaber on Cloud City and Maz Kanata, or
Kanata.
whatever. Kanata.
That's right.
So there is
I
a
saw
comic
that.
book. You can go out and find which one it is if you just search it. And yeah, you can learn about the connection of how the lightsaber was recovered and how it got to Maz. And
Yeah, like I think it's the thing I saw is like who caught Luke's lightsaber on Bespin.
Yep.
that is like a big plot hole to fill in or to finish
Yeah,
and
'cause
tell that
everybody's
story.
wondering how Maz got it. Like last time
You know-
we thought it was falling.
Not to be one of those people, and also not to send us down a rabbit hole, but like I think if you're gonna drop something like that into a movie, you have to show it in the movie, or just don't include it at all.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. It's a Chekhov's gun thing.
Yeah, exactly. If you're gonna show a gun in the first act, it has to go off in the third act.
I don't remember. This is tangentially related. Well, a little bit.
Welcome to the podcast, Jeremy.
I don't know what show we were watching, but we were watching something, and a guy was falling, and he cracked the joke. They're like, "Grab my hand." He's like, "No, I'll just slide down the side and then fall into a chute. I totally know what's gonna happen," or something,
pretty
in
sure
reference
it
to
was-
Luke, which was really funny, like sliding, like
Was it
falling. And
DuckTales?
was it DuckTales?
I thought it was when they were on one of their adventures.
So it was something we were watching. They made a joke about it. I just thought it was pure gold.
That's
that
awesome.
They made that joke. So, well, that is, I think, all we have for episode 67 of
Oh
the
my goodness, we've made way too many of these. So Keith almost was on 1632 and 64.
Oh man.
So
Ooh.
we were close to making that happen, but whatever. Gabe said tonight's episode has been awesome. Thank you, Gabe.
Thank you so
Brad
much.
says fun times. We've had a blast talking to you guys.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, if you made it this far into the video, you've made it to the end of the video. So go ahead and give it a like if you like this type of content and you want to see more stuff like it. Comment down below with stuff you want to hear us talk about in the future. Obviously, you can write emails to Jeremy at contact@riseofthepodcast. We'll feature you guys on there. Subscribe if you're not already. Ring the notification bell to be notified every time we upload a video or go live. We're doing that now. Thank you guys so much for watching. And of course...
May the force be with you.